Hitler was someone with an extreme, near impossible agenda, and somehow he managed to follow this agenda and become a huge political power. How did he gain all this power? Well, the economic downturn for Germany led many people to agree with Hitler's views in politics, allowing him much more political power. This is true because before the stock market crashed, Hitler had virtually no political power, and he was considered too much of an extremist. Then, when he finally had all his power, people started to accept him and even liked him, and he was able to get rid of other political parties, giving him a lot more power. Adolf Hitler was a compelling and wonderful public speaker. By the end of his speeches, Hitler could make his audience listen and agree with what he was saying. Hitler was someone who never liked to be embarrassed and who did not like to take the blame for his own problems. He would rather blame them on someone or some other group of people than himself. During the late 1920s and early 1930s, he was an up-and-coming politician with very extreme views for that specific time in Germany. Before Hitler was elected to power, as a result of their loss in World War I and the stock crash in 1929, Germany had been in a huge depression. The fact that Germany was defeated in World War I meant a lot of things. One being they were forced to sign a treaty called the Treaty of Versailles. In this treaty, they had to give away all their colonies outside of Germany, had to pay for damages from the war, and had restrictions put on the German army size. Hitler's views were seen as way too radical. That remained true until 1929 when the stock market crashed, causing the German people to believe that they needed newer, more radical ideas if they wanted to get out of the depression. When the stock market crashed, the German government couldn't bounce back, and the German people began to lose faith in their government. The German public began to take more interest in Hitler's ideas. In the year before the stock crash of 1929, so few Germans accepted the Nazi Party. For example, in the whole German Reichstag, there were only 12 seats occupied by the party. However, the year after the stock crash, in 1930, there were 102 seats taken in the German Reichstag by the Nazi Party, and in 1933, Hitler was elected Chancellor of the German Army. There were now 203 seats taken by the Nazi Party. Hitler received a third mandate and spent 4 years from when the stock market crashed in 1929 when he was elected Chancellor in 1934. By 1933, when Hitler finally gained all of his power, he decided that he needed to be the only political power in Germany. To do this, he had to get rid of the other political parties or his main competition. By 1933, his only other main competition was the Communist Party, but he had a plan to get rid of them too. In February 1933, there was a fire set in the German Reichstag building, and Hitler blamed it on the Communist Party. When word of the fire came out and that the Communist Party was responsible, there was no question that the Nazi Party would now be the only main political party with no competition whatsoever. Once Hitler was the main political power in Germany, he came up with something called the Enabling Act. This gave him the ability to ban political parties, censor broadcasts and publication, and allowed Hitler to replace anyone in the German government, especially those who did not enjoy the Nazis' ideas. It also allowed Hitler to make decisions without the consultation of the President of Germany or the German Reichstag in times of desperate need. Hitler now had the power to become the leader of most of Germany's politics, and, along with that, unimaginable political power. As you can see, the economic downturn in Germany led to Hitler receiving much more political power in Germany. In the years before the stock market crash in 1929, Hitler was not seen as a major political figure at all. He was merely the leader of some very radical group and a very good public speaker. However, we begin to see that between the years of 1929 and 1933, Hitler gained more power. He gained this power right when the German people realized they needed someone more radical to get their economy back up, and someone who had the right views on what needed to get done, someone like Hitler. Just imagine, if the stock market had not crashed, thus not allowing Hitler's extremist ideas to give him political power, maybe all of World War II could have been avoided.